Hello, and welcome back to Stone Soup.
The world according to sci-fi geeks.
Today we're going to review Cowboys and Aliens.
Okay, the first thing you need to say about Cowboys and Aliens is awesome cast.
Well, you had Han Solo and James Bond. How do you go wrong with that?
Han Solo and Indiana Jones, because
Yes.
it's the same guy.
Yes.
And James Bond. And the cast was just fabulous.
Yes.
It just was really amazing. We liked it. We know it got panned grossly.
Yeah. But we enjoyed it.
But we enjoyed it. It's another one of those movies from a comic book. This was a very off-brand comic book. I think it was like a mini-series, one-off, and they were done. Because, you know, once you've finished the storyline, there's nowhere else to go.
The storyline is finished. So, hey.
And actually, when you finish the storyline, you should stop. You really should. Now, and Olivia Wilde was brilliant, and the boy from the other Avatar.
Last Airbender, Noah Ringer, yes. He was fun. Clancy Brown was there in a small role. Yeah. You know, he does bad guy so often. It's so refreshing to see him in a good guy part.
Yeah.
But now we will admit, it's kind of an odd concept. When you think about humanity and aliens, you think either present day or more often far-flung future, because that's where most science fiction does it.
But you know what this was? It was exactly the same premise as Avatar. Aliens come to a planet no. On the planet Pandora, we are aliens. It is their planet. Aliens come to a planet, want something that's buried in the ground. In the case of Avatar, they called it unobtainium. In the case of this, it was the gold.
Yep.
We will never know what unobtainium is unless James Cameron decides to tell us. But anyway,
he will.
The aliens come, they want something that this planet has, and they start slaughtering the natives to get it.
Yep.
And the natives never have any idea what the motivation is. The Pandorans never had any idea that we even wanted something, I don't think. Or by the time they did, it was too fracking late.
Yeah, you've seen our rant on all the things wrong with Avatar. We won't go back into that. But still.
Now, in this one, we don't know why the aliens wanted the gold.
Nope. We'll
but
never know.
both movies are told from the point of view of the humans. And the humans wouldn't know why the aliens wanted the gold or what they were going to do with it.
Because the aliens aren't going to take the time to explain it.
Assuming they could speak English at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay, it's been a couple of weeks since we saw the movie, but as I recall, whatever language the bad aliens were speaking, there's more than one kind of aliens, but that the bad guys were speaking, if they spoke, was nothing at all like English. So we have no idea what they were saying.
You go over there and bring me that. You can figure that one out if you went over there and brought him that.
Yes.
But we thought the characters were interesting. Some odd names. Dollarhide? Whatever. And Lonergan.
You know, our lead character, Jake Lonergan, part of what makes him interesting is that when he first, the movie starts him waking up in the middle of the desert with no memories. So he doesn't know, and we don't know, if he's a good person or a bad person, although his willingness to snap straight into high violence leans toward the bad side.
Maybe.
A little bit.
In the Old West, if you weren't willing to lean towards the violent, you could get dead real fast.
This is true. This is very true.
Being dead is not advantageous.
This is a grant. I gotta give you that. Yeah.
Mommy knows things.
That's Daniel Craig's character. Harrison Ford's character, Woodrow Dollarhide. Now he's interesting. When we first meet him, he comes off as a bit of an a-hole.
Nasty. But because you kind of don't factor in that he thinks he's dealing with a man who just killed 2 other men
and a whole bunch of cows
and slaughtered a shitload of cattle, a truckload of cattle. And so he thinks he's got a real monster on his hands, and he wants to know how and why he did it. But he is torturing the guy to find out.
So it's a little iffy. But, as the movie goes on, we see more to him.
Also, it's kind of unusual to see Harrison Ford playing a bad guy.
True.
Because he's usually, the bestest guy on the screen. Yeah. So he probably had a ball.
He's a hero.
Being nasty.
Yes. But, as the movie goes on, we see more to him. We see the depth, that there are depth to these characters. And, of course, our lead female, Ella Spencer, as done by Olivia Wilde, is way more than she seems.
Ella Swenson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will, not...
Yeah.
To say much more would be spoilers.
But yeah. well, actually, I'm going to say a little more. I'm going to give those spoilers in a minute. And you wind up with a battle royal between the Cowboys and the aliens. Mm-hmm. Oh, and the Indians pitch in on the side of the Cowboys on account of, this is us humans against those whatever the hell they are.
Yep. They're going to kill all of us.
Yeah, they're going to kill all of us. They don't care.
I mean, it would be one thing if they're just digging up the gold, but they were, capturing people to study us. We're not 100% sure what they're studying us for other than what's the fastest way to kill these things.
Which that could be an important piece of information if you wanted to kill a bunch of us.
Yep. Although, really, it's a fairly simple answer. One good hole through us and we're gone. Fire, we're gone.
But what if you wanted to kill a whole bunch all at once? One hole won't do it. You got to have, fire or bombs or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And there's an outlaw gang that also joins in. Because, again, we can always fight amongst each other later.
Yep.
But if we don't stop these things, there ain't going to be a later.
Mm-hmm. And basically, we can worry about running away to Mexico once we're sure there will be a Mexico.
Yeah.
Because
and that these things aren't down there too. Mm-hmm. Now you notice we have some notes here, and she has written, "Should the humans have won?"
Yes.
Well, they had to because it was our movie.
Oh, yes.
Actually, they didn't.
We sent them on their way, didn't we? Oh no. Well, you see, my remark is we wouldn't have if we hadn't had help from a call it a resident alien.
Yes.
Who was already here. The aliens had destroyed that alien, the other aliens' planet, the good aliens' planet. And I don't know how it got here, but it had followed them and wanted to stop them from doing it to another planet because, retribution and just being on a good guy, I guess.
But, when you have, 19th century humans fighting creatures with interstellar travel, let's just say the odds are not in favor of the humans.
But they are if you got James Bond and Indiana Jones on your side. And so there.
Said for that. They were pretty much holding their own in the big fight before, the one good alien, put in the final punch for us.
But without that final punch, we'd have been shot, people. Did I just knock that out? No. Yeah, because you can't expect guys on horseback with 6 guns to take out an alien ship.
No.
I think they might have had some dynamite, but who knows if that...
Paul Anderson.
Unless you're Paul Anderson. And if you don't know what that means, go find the High Crusade.
Yes. Well, yes, they did have dynamite. They planted it along part of the upper part of the alien spaceship.
Because they did find out somewhere along the lines that when the aliens were away from their ship, they were killable. They were flesh and blood, just like you and me. They didn't look anything like us.
Like in Independence Day, they had much higher technology than we did, but they were still flesh. So they could still be killed if you could get them away from that technology. And luckily for the humans, some of the aliens, we don't even know what they were called. They might have said in the movie, but again, it's been a couple weeks. I don't remember.
It's more than a couple. It's been like 5 or 6. We didn't see it between WorldCon and the Indiana trip, did we?
No.
So it's been about 5 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks. So it's a wonder we remember anything. We've been gone a while. We've been busy.
Anyway, but some of them, for whatever reason, decided to be more interested in trying to kill the humans in hand-to-hand combat as opposed to using weapons. See, one plus on the human side is that they were so convinced that we were these undeveloped insects that we weren't worth the troubling over. Wrong. Because, however primitive we may be, humans are stubborn sons of guns.
And ornery.
Yes. And we will find a way to kill your ass.
We will not go down easy. We will fight. No. I mean, they took out everybody who, that is to say, the humans rode out with everybody who was willing to go, and that included a boy of, 12 or 13?
Yep. Mostly he was keeping a lookout and signaling people that, hey, whatever helps.
He was doing what he could.
And he did manage to kill one.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Now, I remember someone at some message board made a comment about how Cowboys and Aliens, we already have that. It's called Firefly. Well, no. That's Cowboys in space, and there were never any aliens in that series.
Matter of fact, Josh Whedon made it a point that there will be no aliens here.
This is just going to be a study in humanity. So, no, actually, they are nothing alike.
Yeah.
Other than the idea of space is a new Wild West, which it will be when we finally get our butts out there.
If we do, yeah, sure will. Basically, it's always going to be a matter of if you want to colonize someplace, it's going to be primitive. You'll take as much.
The sheriff in
The cameraman points out, if you want to see an interesting take on that, you find Outland, starring Sean Connery. Outland failed, too, but its main problem is it didn't have any music. There was no score whatsoever.
Really? How old is it?
Mid-80s?
Yeah, mid-80s. Huh. Not quite as old as you are. We'll dig it up. We got it somewhere. Or we'll get a copy, because it was a very well written and very well acted and very well directed, but because the lack of music, the complete lack of any kind of background music, left it flat. It was just strangely flat, because you expect something to tell you what to feel. You know?
I would have thought by the 80s, all movies had at least some score.
It was in space, so it was silent.
Oh. Okay, on the one hand, good touch. On the other hand, not quite.
Well, you know what? On Earth right now, do I have background music in my life? No. But it's there on sitcoms and dramas and whatnot. Background music isn't the same thing as is there sound in space.
I mean,
and also, they were inside the space station.
Yes. And
sorry, we just got off on a different movie, didn't we?
Well, again, with Firefly, when we were in space, we didn't hear any of the engines wheeling or anything, but we still had background music.
We still had background music, and we had, stuff.
And the score in Cowboys and Aliens was quite nice, too. I mean, it wasn't anything that really stood out, but it worked.
And in a way, the score shouldn't stand out.
No.
It should lift what's going on, but it shouldn't be so noticeable that you're suddenly out of the story thinking, oh, what a pretty, what pretty music that is. Or even, whoa, what is that music? I mean, every once in a great while, I'll realize I am sniffling and tears are running down my face and I'm being manipulated by the music. Not in this movie, I mean, but just in general.
But
let's see, what else have we done?
Going back to topic.
But anyway, we thought it was a very good movie.
Yes, it was fun. It was weird, but it was fun.
But we're used to weird.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the problem. It was just a little too weird for the critics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reviewers, whatever you call them. Sorry.
Yeah, we have noticed
brain melting.
We have noticed over the years that reviewers, a lot of them don't tend to grade sci-fi and fantasy movies very high.
They don't understand what they're seeing. They're not able to take that one more step and say, okay, this is actually about people, but the venue is different.
Yeah.
And
not all of them, but a lot of them, it seems like.
Somebody, and I can't remember who it was, once said, science fiction and fantasy it's not, oh shoot, now I can't think what it was. But it's the setting. It's not the story. It's not the type of story. It's the setting. Because science fiction stories are adventures. They are romances. They are things like that. They're the hero's tale. It's just where they're taking place. And, the stuff around them. Which in our opinion is why Avatar is so lame. Because it's supposed to be the hero's tale.
Yes.
And he failed in everything he did, except he did manage to save Pandora. But he didn't. If he had done the job that he was sent to do in the first place, there wouldn't have been a freaking war.
Yeah.
But even the writers never recognized that.
Like we said, this is basically the same story, just
without the guy pretend. Well, actually, we did have sort of an spoiler, an alien presence, as we said, that was here. Somebody who was here who was an alien, but was disguised as one of us, who helped and who saved us. So there was that, but it wasn't quite the same thing.
No,
because in Avatar, he is one of the people who are doing the invading, and this person in Cowboys and Aliens was not one of the people doing the invading. Notice how I'm being very careful not to give you a hint of genre, or of gender even. It was a third party altogether, so to speak.
Still, though, all told, this was way more entertaining than Avatar, just because the people were people instead of cardboard cutouts.
Yeah. We didn't mean for this to turn into a
ramble.
A ramble about Avatar.
But when we realized the similarities,
and just a little while ago, we were making our notes, and I suddenly realized, oh my God, this was the anti-Avatar. Same premise, flipped.
And a better cast. But anyway.
Much better cast. And that's okay. And Avatar had a wonderful cast. They just got, sort of wasted a lot.
Yeah.
So, anyway, the cameraman is saying, hurry the hell up. So,
That's our review of Cowboys and Aliens.
Bye-bye.